Okay, now we are officially starting the game of life.
Once again, bro was so excited to do the intro.
Well, at least you and Auri remembered to have your headbands on from the start this time.
We learned from the last time being caught unaware. We're still going to squish you those cheeks every so often, Day.
And of course, I go first. This ought to be fun. Maybe one day I'll even earn the title Master of the Game of Life.
Oh, Nox. I thought we weren't ripping off other channels as bits.
What can I say? Goated content is goated content is goated content. Speaking of other channels, those eggs of yours have recently been siphoning against chaos energy and order energy. You might want to look into that.
Already. I didn't think we'd be having to track those energy types so soon.
You also didn't think your ink would awaken my dragon powers either, hun.
Just as I didn't think I'd be starting the game of life so well. How about that?
Don't get too cocky, Nox. We just started after all.
You know, Nox of all people getting
what's
the
that
knowledge
supposed to
ground
mean?
right off rip, despite not going to college at all, reminds me that we have our universal exceptions for very good reason.
Yes, sometimes things just do not happen the way we expected. Sometimes deviations in the plan are absolutely necessary. One size fits most. But notice that we never said one size fits all.
I do rather enjoy seeing the look on people's faces when they realize that I'm not nearly as dumb as they think my decisiveness and willingness to unleash my wrath makes me.
I wonder, what makes people think that makes you a fool at all?
It's because they lack the four traits Auri always preaches about. Then again, that they made the situation that they are in the first place should tell you just how lacking in those four departments they truly are.
Oh yeah. Zume and I talk about how in all things there should be balance, discretion, reason, and logic. Yeah, what of it?
You would think more people would listen to you, given the instance.
Well, we wouldn't have had the novels that are about to be released if people were wise enough to apply balance, discretion, reason, and logic to their actions more often, now would we?
And I suppose I wouldn't have my powers if I didn't have to learn this the hard way.
Well, Daisy, what you were just taught in that instance was that when any or all of them are missing, you should expect corruption and disaster.
It was humiliating having to get you out of those jams, wasn't it, Daisy?
I'm honestly trying to forget, but every time I am able to use fire, ice, or lightning breath, I get reminded of this why I never again can.
There's the logic. Even if those were embarrassing situations, you need to remember them so that you don't forget what you learned in dream training.
The balance, of course, is understanding how you ended up in those predicaments in the first place.
Reason is understanding what you were thinking. Or, if you were thinking at all.
And discretion is knowing how much of each was needed and when each was needed.
You two make it sound easy, you know that?
Of course it's easy. After it is hard.
Trust me, the hard part isn't long. If you choose to learn from the moments of indiscretion, off-balancing, unreasoning, and illogic.
That's right, Nox. We all have those kinds of moments. It is a matter of whether you learn from them or not.
Why does it always seem like you two manage to avoid those moments, though?
Simple, really. Where we can, we apply discretion so that we don't have to go through certain ordeals. When that can't be applied, we reason our way through problems we must face. And for those matters, we know that if we can source the logic, or lack thereof, that is generating the issue, we can learn how to make it work best for us. Failing any and all of that, we balance our emotions and whatever else we can, so that, to the very least, we come out of the other end standing and mostly intact. Now, do we have scars? Absolutely. Have we been wrong before? Also, yes. Sometimes catastrophically so. And we will be wrong again in the future. Also potentially catastrophically so. But have we come back stronger and better than before every single time? Yes. Has that too also passed? yes. I choose to say that it seems as if God has plans for us.
You'd be surprised how simple it becomes once you get tired of losing as well. When you're tired of having the same problems over and over again, you will really start looking into applying the concept of balance, logic, reason, and discretion.
You hate to admit it, but you have said nothing wrong thus far.
You'd be surprised just at how much we've learned in our short little lives, and how much our dreams teach us as well, if we just heed them. God gives us the means to access His greatest wisdom. He gave us literal cheat sheets for the actual game of life. We'd be foolish to not at least glance at it.
Forget about heeding our dreams and God's cheat sheets. Just look at how others are failing the game of life and what they constantly do. That in itself should be the warning of why balanced discretion, reason, and logic are paramount at all times.
I suppose that's what you and Zume would call insanity.
No, Daisy. That is what I myself would call stupidity.
Hey! No need to call me stupid just because I might have repeated mistakes in the past.
Let the record show that Daisy said it, not me.
Hee Feeling a bit defensive there, Daisy?
You walked into that one, Daisy.
I'll say it again. It's amusing when our enemies fail to use logic, discretion, balance, or reason. It's honestly kind of why we drill it into your head, Daisy, that you should learn to display these traits.
Yeah, Nox of all people should know exactly what usually happens to those who don't. He has certainly meted out enough punishment upon his rogues gallery to tell you just how demonstrably necessary these 4 traits are.
In the game of life that counts the most, it will take you much farther, much faster to have these traits than not. I speak from first-hand experience.
And honestly, thank God he gave Zume and I the wisdom to not need to bump our heads, let alone go through what you went through, Nox. Yeah, I am definitely A-okay with the timeline we are currently in, whether neither I nor our clan has to know that kind of hardship in our waking lives.
Tell me, Daisy, can you honestly say that you could have gotten what I got in my life and still remain standing?
I'll admit that my suffering just hasn't been what yours was, Nox. I'd say I'm luckier than most, even if I don't always act like it.
Oh no, you definitely act like it. You definitely behave the way someone who has had it better than most is expected to. Of course it's taking you a while to internalize Zume and Auri's Maxims. Thanks to the efforts of your loved ones who have demonstrated the core 4 traits, you've never had to truly suffer the consequences of lacking in those departments. This, quite honestly, is just a sign of how good a job Sarah did as a mother, and now how good of a job Zume is doing as a husband taking care of you.
Not gonna lie, Nox, you do make a point. In that way, it kind of is my fault for Daisy's more bratty and spoiled moments. It's honestly why I don't put all of the blame on her for her temper tantrums. When it's a whole entire crisis when I merely tell her no or not today, it's honestly proof positive of just how well I displayed the core 4 traits.
I hate it when you guys talk about me like I act like a child.
Well, this is how Nox and his friends treat those who see no use for the core 4 traits. And honestly, as a woman, I would hate to not be taken seriously. As such, I knew what I had to do.
I'll admit, even Mom and Ashley have started taking me a bit more seriously since I graduated psychology school and I opened my own practice. It's refreshing.
Of course it is, Daisy. It was so validating and freeing when I took full control of the Lunatic Fringe Patrol from Ryan. I had never felt so powerful in my life, and all because I had finally managed to find the means to internalize and operate with the core 4 traits. Like, literally overnight, my whole life started turning around.
Trust me, I noticed immediately. I could tell your whole demeanor changed once Ryan retired.
And I noticed the Lunatic Fringe Patrol was a lot less sloppy once you started putting your inner circle where you wanted them to be. Coincidence? I think not.
Guess it's those core 4 traits in action, eh?
Glad to know I'm living it far better than I can explain it.
Well, I can't accuse you of being a hypocrite, Nox.
You sound dejected at that fact.
Oh, Daisy. Defiant even when it really makes no sense to be.
So, this game of life, eh?
Yes. This game of life, Day-Day.
Oh, I'm sure the victor of this game would probably surprise us all. I guarantee you at least 2 of us weren't paying attention. You know, on account of the heavy conversation we've been having throughout.
Need a break, Day-Day?
No, I do not. You're not wrong. You two rarely, if ever, are.
It's good to admit that, Daisy. Trust me, the sooner people do, the sooner they stop getting tormented.
Ever notice that those who lack the core 4 traits tend to also be the ones complaining the most?
I do, actually. Believe it or not, Daisy, you most of all has been the one to notice that.
I mean, yeah. I'm at least able to recognize it in others.
And? Isn't it fun to watch those who can't handle you squirm and not know why it is? Isn't it fun when you're the one watching those who lack the core 4 run around in circles wondering why they are losing?
I generally don't revel in seeing people get torn apart. That said, the look on Good Vibe's face when his syndicate came crashing down. You just know it hurt inside. Now on that, I don't shy away from it.
Nor should you. After all, Good Vibes seen and the others were warned. If they lack the discretion to listen, they shouldn't be surprised consequences ensue. And don't let anyone tell you otherwise.
That's right, Auri. And trust me, many have tried to tell me otherwise. I just laugh as they cry harder.
I want to say that's brutal. If only I didn't know better.
It's funny how quickly everyone finds the core 4 when I or one of my agents are upon them. The same people who don't listen to Zume or Auri's wisdom are then begging me and my inner circle to show mercy the moment we get our hands on them. It's really hard not to laugh at these kinds.
I will say that I notice a strange amount of thugs usually get found when the consequences are upon people. That much is certain.
I'd almost feel bad if I didn't know these types were warned. It's really hard to feel sorry or guilty when we told them exactly what would happen if they persisted.
That's what we call life. It sometimes just be like that. And trust me, I of all people know that it can suck.
The beauty of it is that it never truly has to be. A whole lot of things don't have to go down. If they would just exercise a little discretion, or had been just a little more reasonable. If they were here now, I bet you most of our Rose Gallery would tell you that perhaps they wouldn't have escalated as they did.
Off the top of my head, I'm pretty sure only Victual and the Maasai 5 are the only ones you can reasonably call enemies left. Far be it from me to root through centuries of ancestral politics, but I'm pretty sure Eshok and Victual's reigns are the first extended period of non-aggression the Kingdoms of Paradise have seen.
Yes, Day-Day. Not gonna lie, Empress Anmin and Prince Azuro weren't breathing so easily when Eshok was tragically murdered. By someone who didn't practice balance or logic very well, given how poorly they tried to frame Lugo and Grand Priest Gari for what happened. Of course, Vigil proved to be far wiser than his years, which was a relief to us all.
I won't say I have a problem with what ended up happening to Keelan, but I'm also not going to say that the fact that all it took to unravel him and the entire Chimera Ninja clan was some numbnut pulling a Gavrilo Princip, but slightly more poorly, didn't give me pause.
Yes, Nox. That is, when you boil things down, just how quickly and deeply things can escalate when anyone operates without any of the core 4 traits. It's why we hardly, if ever, trust too much in too many people. Hell, many would say our creator has that same exact problem of opening up and letting too many people into his business.
Well, the business that matters anyway. He'll talk about absolutely nothing and or his opinions all day long. But where it counts, when he needs to let people in to actually help, well, I suppose that's where Auri and I get that downfall from.
Of course you two do. Given that Daisy shares our other creator's one true fatal flaw, that fatal flaw of yours is understandable.
Hey! You could have said it in a way that didn't imply I'm the problem, not.
I said exactly what I said. And you know why I say it too, Daisy. After all, I was there throughout most of your misadventures too. Right there with Zume and Auri. And given how many of your problems I have had to strangle with my own two hands because you didn't exercise the core 4 traits, you best believe I'm going to talk all about how often you are the problem for us all.
Daisy, do understand why it is only recently that Zume has started including you in the family plans in general. Better yet, notice what you are not doing to Nox that you would usually do to Zume when he said the same thing but nicer.
Of course not. I know what would happen if I did. And even if Zume would protect me, he may not get there in time before Nox did something horrible to me.
And now you know why I try to get through to you the nice way. I'd have much rather you find balance, discretion, reason, and logic before something mean had to force you to find them quick. For that matter, perhaps a few of the things that happened in our high school and college years didn't need to. If you would have listened to me or Emma before things escalated past your ability to handle them with your own power and wits.
I'm also sure you would have liked it if Emma didn't threaten to cut you off if you kept being defiant as well.
How do you even know that? You weren't there to hear any of it.
Emma was the one who called the LFP during the Xiaolong rampage incident, remember?
Oh, no.
Yes. Oh, yes. And Emma told me everything that you tried to swear Zume and Auri to secrecy about.
And thank God that Emma had the logic to know that this was the time to call in the Lunatic Fringe Patrol. It is only because of her reason that she had not to talk sissy and bow out of stepping on your skull for that one, Daisy.
Look, Zuzu, I'm glad you and Grandma were looking out for me, okay? I know where my blessings are, and God only knows how things would have turned out if I didn't have the support system that I do.
I have an idea, Daisy, and it usually looks like how it goes when a Nox or a sissy type gets their hands on someone defiant. The thing about consequences is that they do not discriminate. For any who lack the core 4, consequences and karma is all for equal rights, equal lefts, and equal beatdowns.
Yeah, not much was really happening in the game, so thanks for the skip, creator. But make no mistake, we do expect you to keep working on all of your projects, both for the social media channels and in real life.
Wow, you could have been a bit nicer with that fourth wall break, Auri.
I could have been, but I wasn't. And I did so at my own discretion.
Smartass.
I suppose I can't say you three are inconsistent.
When it counts, and we have to be, well, we certainly do our best. Now, if only there wasn't catastrophic consequences every time we fail to exercise any one of the core 4 traits.
That, honestly, is just life for you. We can do 99 goods, but everyone will remember the one bad we did. A bad that, really in the grand scheme of things, is the exception that demonstrates and rights our usual rule.
Do notice that when it is all said and done, though, we always land where we need to, and usually better than we started. And that's because we don't remain off balance, indiscreet, illogical, or unreasonable. Even when we have that lapse in any of the core 4.
You know, you once again aren't wrong. You usually aren't. And the track record speaks for itself.
And when you look back on our lives, and you see not only what we have already overcome, but also what is in front of us, would you say our words of wisdom have steered you wrong yet?
Not even once. I suppose that's a fair argument. you.